guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dom, and if you haven't been here before, I have a 2004 Nissan 350z sitting behind me. It's been running pretty rough for the last couple of weeks, so the first thing I wanted to do is change out the spark plugs. I just got a whole set of these NGK spark plugs from Concept Z Performance. They're about $78 altogether, including shipping. These are the original OEM spark plugs. I did get the step holder because I do have an intake and an exhaust. Basically, there's two different versions. You can get the original ones for unmodified cars and a one-step holder for any car that has any type of performance modification to it. That includes anything like an intake, a plenum, an exhaust, or aftermarket catalytic converters. Here's what the box looks like, and here's the part number. So like I mentioned, I already got started on this last week when I was trying to diagnose the problem. So let's go ahead and pick up where I left off and finish out this replacement. So since this is a V6, there's gonna be 3 different spark plugs on each side. 3 on this side, and then 3 more on this side. So it is pretty difficult to get to all these spark plugs. So my recommendation is just take your time, take as long as you need so that you don't break anything. The valve covers on these engines are plastic. So if you break them or crack them while doing this replacement, you will have to replace the whole valve cover. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get started on this installation and have you follow along with the process. I've never done this before, so it's not really gonna be a how-to video. It's gonna be a watch as I do it. So it's a 14mm nut to take off the strut bar. Then you're gonna need to use some pliers to get off these clips on the side and on the other side. Then there's gonna be 4 10mm bolts on the engine cover. Then there's gonna be a 10mm bolt right here that can loosen up this part of the harness. There will also be one back here to loosen up this part of the harness, and that will allow you to move it out of the way so you can get out this coil. Okay, so there's a series of 10mm bolts. The first one's right here. The second one is down here, if you can even see that. And the third one's way back here underneath this wiring harness. So now that this is loose, I'm gonna go ahead and undo the 10mm bolts that go to the coil packs and then take out the spark plugs and replace them. Just be really careful when you're taking out the coil packs. You don't want to bend them or break them or anything. They're about $100 a piece to replace, so take your time. Like I said, be careful when you're taking them out and when you're putting them back in. Now I'm gonna take my 5/8 spark plug socket. Spark plug sockets are a little bit different because they have a rubber gasket on the inside that helps catch the spark plug as you're pulling it out. And I'm gonna use my extension. When replacing spark plugs, they will come with a little cap. Just make sure you do not touch that piece at the top. These ones do come pre-gapped, so you won't have to worry about gapping it at all. So make sure when you're putting in your new spark plug to not over tighten it. All right, it's hand tight right now, and I'm just gonna tighten it a little bit more with the wrench. Don't put a whole lot of pressure on it. I'm just gonna hold it by the head to make sure that there's barely anything going on there. You don't wanna crack that valve cover. Then when you're putting the coil pack back in, just put a little bit of silicone paste around the inside lip of the coil pack. You don't need a whole lot, just enough to coat the lip. I'm gonna leave this one unplugged just so I can get the wiring harness out of the way as I'm unbolting the other one. Okay, and the last one's gonna be a little bit hard to see, so I'm gonna do my best to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. All right, now moving on to the other side, there's a couple different 10mm bolts. There's one right here, one back here, and then there's gonna be one all the way under here that you're gonna need to take off before you can even move this wiring harness out of the way. this first one sitting down here, you'll have to take it out first before you can disconnect the switch. Now that I got all the spark plugs back in, let's go ahead and put everything back on. All right guys, that's gonna be it for me today. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel so you keep seeing more 350 and Jeep content, and I'll see you in the next one.